All right. Welcome on in. Sound check. Everything sound okay? Good, good. Welcome on in. Come on in. Come on in, everybody. Say hi. Say what's up. Let me know where you're from. Always interested to see where people are from here. Hello. Is the music volume okay? Too high, too low, or just right? I don't want to have to be talking over it if I don't have to. Sleepy Hollow Woodworks from Michigan. Where in Michigan? Are you a Youper? Sleepy Hollow. I've seen your name around somewhere. Where have I seen you before? I might follow you on Instagram. Music seems okay? Good, good, good. Definitely a bit of a delay going from me through YouTube's processing side. Ann Arbor, right on. You guys having some nice weather? I'm here in Texas. It's we've had rainy, cloudy, mid to high 80s weather here. So today, kind of what we're looking at doing, it was kind of a short notice stream that Monport asked me to do, but that's okay. I don't mind whatsoever. So we're kind of just showing off a little bit of what the Reno can do. Got the Reno 45 Pro. I got it before they announced the 65 with the bigger bed. But the I will say that this little Reno has, it's probably, it's far more capable than I thought it would whenever I first got a hold of it. So it's been a pretty beast of a little machine. With the biggest gripe is the bed size, but they fixed that with the 65. And the Pro version has got the it's got the semi-autofocus, which is, I'll show off here in a little bit. Sleepy Hollow, do you have a laser? And if so, what kind? And if anybody else is out there, kind of trying to get a feel for what everybody's got, so I know kind of how to tailor my topics. This little, let me show you guys. Got the, like I said, I've got the Reno 45. You've got the 60 watt CO2, so one of their bigger floor models. Trying to move some of my stuff around in OBS. I should have done this earlier. Making it a little bit more accessible to me. Once everybody comes in, I'll give it a couple more minutes. All right, I mean, so we've been live for 7-ish minutes. Give it a couple more minutes before we really start diving into some of the features. Sleepy Hollow, what type? I mean, I'm not trying to pick on you, Sleepy Hollow, but you're here talking, right? What type of stuff are you using the that 60 watt for? Clearly woodworking, I would assume. And also, Sleepy Hollow, as you can see, on the next picture right here, Monport's been kind enough to give 60. They're giving away 60 cans of these this black marking spray. So if you are primarily using it on wood, as it is a CO2, the black marking spray allows you to mark metal as well. I've personally never used the black marking spray. I'm going to try and get my hands on some of it. I have a fiber as well, which you can see right here. The fiber is pretty awesome. Little MOPA fiber, GA30. But I've used this Reno on a number of different things, and we're going to showcase some of that tonight. We're going to be looking at doing a little bit of wood, etching and cutting, lake maps, engraving. Oh, so you do those multi-layered maps? I'd be interested to know where you're getting your topographical layers from. Engraving water bottles, okay. Like powder coat, removing powder coat using a rotary. What kind of woodwork do you specialize in then? Is it these maps mostly? Let's see here. All right, we're 10 minutes in. Cool. What I'm going to do, I'm going to kind of show you, I'm going to show you the Reno, and we're going to run over some of the cool features of it. Let's see here. So, my apologies that you may not be able to hear me super well. Actually, I'll probably just kind of talk about it and then walk over and show it to you. So first off, like I said, this is the Reno 65 Pro. One of the coolest things is it does have like a kind of have a semi pass through. Let me show you that. You see this red thing across the middle? You can remove that and have access to the laser bed. It actually just slides out. it's accessible through here into the laser bed. If you're doing larger pieces of plywood or something like that, that's going to be pretty useful. It does not pass all the way through the backside because the backside has the exhaust fan on it. But it does allow you to get, so this is 12 inches deep. So you can get, it's actually a little bit bigger than 12 inches deep. If you go kind of towards the back a little bit more, you can get 13 and a half or so. And you can actually fit something a little bit deeper in there. That's actually substantially larger. You can go almost 17 inches deep before you start hitting the rail on the backside. It just slides right back in here. The next thing I want to show is the semi-autofocus, so let me kick over to a different view for that. So the semi-autofocus, whenever you're actually... Let me actually change. There we go. So the semi-autofocus, when you're wanting to focus in your laser, just put your machine material in, and you here, yeah. I have an Allen screw right here. You can prop the bed down by turning it counterclockwise, or raise it up by turning it clockwise. There's a little plunger right here, prop down. So this little plunger drops down, like so. And then you turn your Allen screw, now clockwise. Sorry, I'll try and talk a little bit louder. So you turn your Allen screw clockwise now until that plunger pops up. And that's how you know you're focused in. It's ingenious. It's got a little magnet in there on the plunger. And I have been thoroughly impressed with that. That makes focusing extremely easy. So it also has a really nice lit bed as well. When you crank it up. So hopefully that's not too loud for you guys. You can see it's got a really nice lit bed, and it auto homes as well. So essentially, this thing is ready to go right after you fire it up. Hang tight. So that's an extremely nice feature as well. The bed on this guy is 16 by 12. So like I said, it's not the biggest bed. I wish I would have gotten the 65 instead. Can you add that autofocus feature? I don't know if they have an add-on, Sleepy Hollow. That would be a great accessory feature for somebody to have, huh? I feel like I need to have my face on here a little bit. Hang tight. I'm coming. All right. So yeah, feel like that would be an excellent feature for them to add on after the fact, right? Something that you can buy afterwards. Monport, if you're listening, you might want to take that down as a note, because Sleepy Hollow just had an excellent idea for that add-on autofocus. So this bed, like I said, bed 16 by 12. You can actually fit a little bit bigger area in there. Let me measure for you. If you had to squeeze something in, you could go 19 by 16 and a half or 17, like I said, for the depth. But 19 by 17, but your actual engraving area is still only going to be that 12 by 16. Are you looking at getting any other machines, Sleepy Hollow? Because that is an excellent idea. The other thing about this machine is it's actually pretty darn fast as well. What was that flash? Let's go this one. Forgot I had this view as well. Possible considering a fiber. I love the fiber was the first one I got, and I'll be honest, dude, they're cool. There's a lot of different stuff you can do with a fiber. The biggest drawback is going to be that they have a smaller working area, right? The nice thing is you can swap out your lenses. You can get a little bit bigger or smaller if you want to do some more power focused work. Yeah, Sleepy Hollow, which wattage? Because Monport also, they added another little sale this morning to this whole live stream, and it's like if you buy one of their CO2s or fibers, like at the time of the live stream, they'll throw in a free rotary and light license for light burn. So a CO2 or a fiber order. Yep. So free rotary and light burn license if you place a Monport order during today's live stream. I have the 30 watt MOPA, and it's pretty awesome. You can do a lot with it. You can do, I've done leather, I've done plastic, I've done a lot of aluminum, stainless steel, coloring stainless steel, marking on steel, on hardened carbon steel. Geez, what else have I done? The color marking is really cool from a MOPA standpoint. Done some brass as well. You can darken aluminum, which is pretty cool. Done some acrylic on it, I think, as well. But you have to have it masked off to really have that effect more effective. Leather has been one of the coolest things as well. They just look cool. I mean, they are cool. I would like to at some point. I'll probably do a live stream with to show off the fiber as well. Oh, lots of those business cards. Yeah. I've done a lot of the business cards. The aluminum business cards with the black coating on them. Yeah. Those are cool. My daughter got a 6-year-old, and the other day we came outside and I was messing around on the laser, and she was. I popped open some AI program, AI with image generator, and we went through and I had her just design whatever she wanted to, and she picked like she wanted a caterpillar, a unicorn caterpillar with wings that had a mustache, and so we made some business cards on that. I don't have one right now. She took it. She took it with her. I also did a I'll show it to you. I did a see if I can get this to show. Oh, come on. This is a trivia team for some people I work with. Did this on some church keys. I wish you could see it better. It says pluck around and find out. What's up, Ventari? Anyway, they have trivia night at Pluckers every Wednesday night, and their team name is Pluck Around and Find Out. So I made them all some church keys with that as well. Let's see here. Anybody have any questions about the Reno before we kind of get into the show it off portion? Show what you can do with it. Happy to answer any questions you guys have. I am by no means a full-blown expert on this, but I have fiddled around with it quite a bit, and I've figured out a number of different things about it. Like I said, my biggest gripe is the bed size, but that's my fault for getting the 45, not the 65. Can this do the pass-through? So it can only do pass-through on one side, Sleepy Hollow. Let me show you again. Do you see this red stripe that goes across the front of the machine? Whenever I first got the machine, I thought that was just an aesthetic piece, and I was like, damn, that's a cool red racing stripe. But it's not just a red racing stripe. Slides out, and it's a pass-through for the front. So you can fit some deeper pieces in here. Again, the width, though, is still going to be... The max width you're going to look at is 19. I was going to do... my father makes some... he makes a lot of woodworking stuff, cutting board, charcuterie boards, and stuff like that. He's retired. All right, now I have two gripes. Thank you, Sleepy Hollow. They could have made that height a little bit more. It's maybe 1 1/8 inches. Maybe 1 1/8 inches. And his cutting boards are thicker than that. So that was kind of a bummer whenever I was ready to mark up one of his cutting boards for him and put his maker mark on it. But that's a really nice, easy pass through too. The fans on it are pretty strong. Although I will admit that I upgraded and I put in an inline fan, just like an inline 6-inch 400 CFM from Viver. I did do one of those instead. So I've got that pumped through as well. So it's pulling a lot more than what it would stock. Put a little turbocharger on it. So Ventari, where are you from? Let me see here. So kind of what I'm thinking of, that we're going to do is I'm going to shift over and kind of show you what we're going to start with. We're starting with some acrylic. And I can't find my calipers, of course, so I can't tell you exactly how thick it is. Yeah, the assist fan, yeah, because I'm running mine out 20-ish feet. Minnesota, all right. Well, welcome on in from, I'm here in Texas. You northerners like your lasers, it seems. Well, Sleepy Hollow there's from Michigan. So let me kick it over here. All right. So this is kind of where I was going to kind of show you guys what I do whenever it comes to working on different projects. Turn that studio mode off. So, all right, you can see my mouse. Good. We have my dad, like I said, he does cutting boards, right? And so one of the first things that he wanted to do was like, hey, can you make handle templates? And I'm like, I can cut acrylic. I can absolutely make you some handle templates. So there's a number of different places where you can find inspirations for your handle templates. There are some images that you can get that have the templates themselves. What's up, John Brook? How are you doing? So you can get your inspirations from a lot of different places. And, you know, what I have done is I've utilized Lightburn and the tracing feature that's built into Lightburn, image tracing, to really just be able to grab these images and turn them into my own cut files. And so you can see I've got a number of different handles here. This is a nice, just like a corner router template. What's up, Brett? How you doing, man? I hope you're doing well, Brett. Good to see you. We're talking about handle templates here. So you can see I've got a variety of handle templates. I was going to make my dad a cutting board stand, and so I decided to take this opportunity to make a cutting board stand for him. I'm really wondering where my first piece went that I cut out last night whenever I was testing all this. So you can see here, this is one of two. So this would be a stand that you can use for, you cut out two of these and this hole, and you put a 1/2-inch dowel rod through it, and you can make a cutting board stand. You're actually working on adding an air assist relay to your Reno 45 Pro. Top Wisdom controller, and he supports it, and then you can hook it up to shop. Oh, nice. So you'll be able to really adjust your air pressure as well. That's pretty cool. Yeah, Clack Shack. All the cool kids are here, man. We're here hanging out. We're about to cut some acrylic. It's not anything super crazy as far as the thickness goes. I think it's. Oh, there it is. Found it. Hold on. This is roughly 3 millimeter. 3 millimeter acrylic. So, you see I already cut one out here and engraved really nicely. You switch over to my desk view so you can actually see it. Right here. So you can see two of these put together with a dowel rod going through the middle. Holds up your cutting board. So we're going to cut the second one now. That's kind of what I was hoping for. And actually what I need to do is I need to reverse this image in Lightburn. I'm actually just going to use the vertical flip feature. Ooh, should I do that? And then I should actually flip. No, I should flip the whole thing. Come on, Cason. Come on. So let me see here. Take a look at my. Take a look at my material here. Make sure that I had it on a nice Nice area where I could cut it. I'll actually probably rotate this guy 90. Put it right up over here. I have found that with this bed, you can run that thing. You can run your cut files right up to the edge with no problems whatsoever. Overly confident? What? yeah. Up in the air assist is going to be pretty neat. All right, so this will be my right side. The other one that I already cut is my left side. Great. So you can see here on my laser or on my acrylic, I've already put in some masking material over the top of it. Let me show you. And you can buy this stuff in the roll. So that's like 12-inch by, I don't remember how many feet it was, 75 feet or something like that. I don't really remember. But you can buy that stuff in the roll. It's a really, really, really light adhesive. So it's almost a little bit too weak for some things. But it can almost be too strong for others, like if you're doing leather. So you do still have to be careful when you're doing leather. We will jump into some leather here in a little bit. But I figure we can go ahead and cut this guy. Let me shut the laser lid. Actually, no. I'll run over my settings for you guys real quick as well. So this is my cut settings for my acrylic. The demasking is a pain. It sure can be. So I am not super proprietary about my cut settings. I think that this kind of stuff, it kind of harkens back to the 3D printer or the early 3D printer years. Are they 3D printable clips, Brett? Free file in one of his Reno videos, right on. Speaking of free, if you guys are interested, we're giving away free cans of marking spray here. Use the code MPSPRAY on Monport's website. Monport, if you want to go ahead and paste that link in there, you can grab that. Give these people some free marking spray. Slideshow. What? Hold on, Monport. I got it. All right. I'm going to open it up here. Okay. 3D printed free STL. Awesome. So for my etch on this etch setting. Oh, you can't see that. Great. Let me see. Because that is not capturing the entire thing. Of course. Man, how am I going to show that to you? Everybody take notes. So my speed on that is 350 millimeters a second. And I've just got it flat out 20% power. So this is the etch layer. I have a fill as well. So this just does the line around the edge. You guys can see. I know that some of you guys are pretty familiar with Lightburn, but I'm going to show it anyway. Tell you guys anyway. I'm going to explain it like you're 5. I've got it on multi-mode, which means there's more than one layer, more than one pass that happens during this cut layer. So it has a line. Mine does. It will go and it'll do a line around everything, and then it does a fill. And then the fill is where it actually goes in and it fills in your shapes. I've got that set at 400, again, 20% power, with a 0.05 line interval. Listen while you work. Reno series looks good. So I'm telling you, Clark, the Reno is a workhorse, man. For how compact of a package that it's in. And I know you weren't here earlier, but I said it. My biggest gripe is the bed size of being 12 by 16. So the Reno 65 kind of fixed that issue, and it's 16 by 24. It's substantially larger. It's twice as big essentially, and so that's pretty attractive, especially if you're somebody who does leather work on your laser for cutting out larger patterns. So the 65 would be where you want. You don't necessarily need that 65 watts of power to cut the leather, but that bigger bed sure is nice. So back to this. My logo, or my dad's logo, is that's my line and my fill settings for that. My actual cut settings is only 20 millimeters a second at 80% power. I do 6 passes, and that's overboard, but I've had good luck with it, and it doesn't hurt anything really to blast through it. I haven't had any flashback on the underside when doing it, so I'm not too keen to make those adjustments down yet whenever it's working just fine, right? The 65 Pro, dude, this I mean, I assume that it's the same as the 45, just bigger and a little bit higher wattage. The dude, the semi autofocus is money, you know. I wish. So Sleepy Hollow mentioned earlier that it would be an awesome thing to have as an add-on, and I'll totally show it again right now what that semi autofocus looks like, because it's beneficial to see. Let me show you. All right. So you can see this red plunger here, right? This red plunger is the semi autofocus, and it's a genius little invention that they added onto it. So this little plunger just goes down, and it sticks down until you adjust the bed upward. So the bed is just adjusted with an Allen screw. Right here. And you just turn that Allen screw and lift the bed up until that plunger sucks back up inside. And now it's focused. Like, that's it. And that's pretty amazing, really. You see. So let's go ahead and cut this out. We've delayed it long enough here. All right. So I've got my Google behind me. I've got my whole my external exhaust fan it's behind this wall behind me. It's inside of that little room, which is kind of like my grinding and dust room. And so I've got it mounted on the wall in there, but I have it plugged in to a Wi-Fi switch where I can just tell my Google to turn it on and off. It's pretty fantastic. So let me see here. Let me go. Guess so. I'm trying to see which view you guys want. You guys might want this view. All right, let's fire this thing up. So really, we're just going to hit start here. So it's going to start off doing the logo. Good view? Right on. I always feel weird talking whenever my face is not on the camera when I'm streaming. So you can see this does make, I think that smoke is mostly coming from the masking tape that's on there. And I've got that set. So that is currently running at 350 millimeters a second. And the Reno can go up to 600, I believe. I don't really push it that high. I don't really feel the need to go that high on most things. But that's the engraving portion, and it's going 400. Which, for a CO2, gantry-style CO2, is... That's pretty smoking fast. It really is. So once it finishes that, it's going to cut out the circle for the dowel rod to go into. And then it will, then it'll do the outline of the entire thing. And I'll be able to show you guys exactly how easy this thing just like lifts straight out. The demasking on this is actually pretty simple, pretty straightforward. It's, I can kind of, the little circles of stuff that are inside of my dad's logo, I can just kind of wipe those off with my finger, basically. It's not bad at all. I'll get you guys a nice close-up view of this here in just a minute after it's finished. So I really think at about past 3 is whenever it fully cuts through this material. Like I said, I have it run into 6 passes just to be safe. Hey, Dennis, how's it going, man? Yeah, this is the little Reno 60 or Reno 45. I'm sorry, Reno 45 Pro from Monport. It's a pretty awesome little guy. So for the actual designing of the cut files, yes, I like Lightburn. It's actually a pretty powerful program. It's way more powerful than I thought it was right whenever I first got it. You know, I had used things like Inkscape before, but the ability to trace images is pretty great. That ability is super nice to be able to take something that you, I don't know, like I said, I AI generated some stuff and just pulled it straight off from whatever download it was, and then you're able to go in there and trace things. Man, that is super nice. And you can really get in there and refine how it traces it. If you guys are interested, I'm more than happy to show you how I traced these images. Oh, so having that other exhaust fan is really nice whenever it comes to not being able to smell burnt acrylic as well. Yeah, the Reno 45 Pro. This is a beast of a little machine, man. It is a workhorse, I'll tell you. And I do have the air assist on this as well. I haven't really found the need to fine-tune a bunch of, like, turning the air assist on and off on different things. I generally will leave it on. And just so everybody knows, if you look down the bottom left-hand side of the screen, Monport is actually giving away 60 free cans. 60 cans. You can only have one, though. I'm sorry. But they're giving away 60 cans during this stream. And so follow that link that Monport's going to post here in just a second. And you'll be able to see that you can go in there and just add it straight to the cart. And they're just giving them away. You don't have to purchase anything else. Look at there. Thank you. All right, so let's jump to which camera? This one? This camera. So that came out very, very well. And I will show you. Let me get a different view here. I'm going to go ahead and take this masking tape off. So as you can see, very little cleanup needed in removing the masking tape. It's just kind of just scraping some of those little pieces out from, in between the letters. It's kind of a pain there, but it's part of it, right? Helps keep it nice and crisp and clean. I'll show you guys these edges as well. Edges are nice and smooth. So, those edges are really nice and smooth. It looks like it's been laser cut, right? So now I've got two of those guys, one for each side whenever it comes time to set up that cutting board stand, and they are identical as far as the dimensions on them go. That's money right there. Yeah, so the laser hits those edges and it makes it like glass. Like it makes it super, super smooth. So, two of those, identical sizes. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So there's some really easy projects. You can make these out of wood too. I'd have to double check the actual thickness that this can cut as far as wood goes. I believe it's 1/2-inch plywood it might be 0.6-inch plywood that this can cut. So sweet. So a real easy, simple project to do. These other cutting board handles that I've got here, if you guys are interested, I'll totally show you. I'll just start with this one that I grabbed off the internet. I've already adjusted this image. You can right-click on it and hit adjust. Oh, man, you guys can't see that because it's only capturing this screen. Let me change this really quickly. I'm not going to be able to do that quick. I'm going to fumble around if I do that too much. You can right click on it, and go to adjust image. And whenever you're doing something that's like a really black and white like this, you want to adjust your contrast up and your brightness up. And then you'll be able to go in and actually, and so like this originally, this picture had a background on it. Let me show you what that looked like originally. This is what the original one looked like. It had this wooden background on it. But I adjusted it, and changed the contrast on it to where that background went away. And then you could actually come in here and then you can go to, what is it? You can optimize your selected shapes and you can change to where all of these curves are really nice. Instead, sometimes they'll have like a little jagged line on them. But that actually cleans it up really, really nicely. So it's really simple process of just taking an image, adjusting the contrast to where it's more of a stark black and white, and then you can right click and go trace. And when it's a trace image, you can click on sketch transparency, and then that'll it kind of recognizes that it's dealing with black and white images more, and it'll work on those a lot cleaner. This is a router template, so for you woodworkers out there, this is a like for a DeWalt palm router that I made for my dad. Let's see. To do the corners, like whenever you're doing a juice groove. And it cuts super nice as well. Super, super smooth. Again, super clean edges. Nice glassy edges as well. So, if you end up making your own router templates, instead of paying $35, $40 a pop for them, or if you want to start making your own, that's the way to do it. You can just cut your own router templates. That's the same thing that this was a corner router template, and I went ahead and cut out the inside as well, so that way you could use that if you're cutting on the inside. So I've already cut all of these for my dad and given them to him. This is another cutting board stand right here, except it holds 3, and you have 2 dowel rods. So a couple of those would be really nice. I think the next project that we're going to jump into, would you guys rather see leather or something that's wood and leather? That'll be my next question for you. And while you guys tell me what you want, I'm going to change out, take the acrylic out of here real quick. Leather? Wood and leather? Brett wins. Sorry, Monport. Get over it. All right, fine. Let me drop some wood in here. See, they both want wood and leather. All right, so you can see I've got a piece of just thin plywood that I dropped in here. I do need to autofocus it real quick. Sweet. All right, so what we're going to do with this one, I'm going to do, I've got my keychain here. Yeah, we'll save that. All right. So here is so this is kind of a multi-layered piece of what we're going to be doing. This is, so the green and the black here. The green and the black are wood. The green is our cut piece. So it's going to cut all the way around the outside of this. My settings for cut on this plywood, which is really thin stuff, like 2.5, 3 millimeter plywood. 20 millimeters a second speed, at 80% power, 3 passes. Nice and slow. It's okay. I'm trying to cut through this the first go round. So what that's going to do, that's going to be our second cut. The first one is actually going to be this black is going to be our etch. Let me ungroup that. All right. So this one, whenever I do the wood, I do a multi-pass again. You can see it right here. It's another multi-pass. I'm going to start out doing a line. So it's going to do the outline of everything, 300 millimeters a second, 10% power. Just one pass on that. Then I'm going to go in and I'm going to fill it. And we're actually going to etch inside of all the letters, 200 millimeters a second at 12% power. This doesn't require a lot of juice. And it's going to do 2 passes on that. My intervals is 0.1. And then I do another outline. And it really just kind of crisps up and cleans up the way that it looks. So I'm going to turn off the pink because the pink is leather. So we're not doing the leather piece yet. So we're going to come in here. We're going to cut with the green. Actually, I'm sorry. First thing we're going to do is we're going to outline the black. And then we're going to cut with the green. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. It's probably something you guys have done before. This is just a cool little project that we came up with. Let me see here. Let me get you guys zoomed in a bit on this. Actually, let me check my framing on this real quick. See, I can totally move this thing over to the left and up a little bit more. I've got plenty of space. Yeah. Trying to conserve material. Let's go ahead and do 2 of them for funsies. Cool. So we'll do 2 right beside each other. And we'll let that run. Let me get you zoomed in a little bit. So you can see these I obviously don't have a masking on because I need them to be etched. So you can actually see it's pretty cool to watch it. Totally just kind of ablating the plywood layers. Wow, it's funny to watch that desk kind of shift back and forth a little bit. I cannot see it physically moving at all. But with the camera zoomed in that much, you can. So like I said, we did I did an outline first. Then we're doing the fill, and we're going to do the outline again. And hopefully you'll be able to see why, because it's super crisp whenever you add that second line around the outside of what you've already etched. And this isn't any kind of special plywood. This is just kind of some cheapo plywood, thin stuff. Well, that camera actually turned out quite a bit better. I've never really used this camera when streaming before, but the zoom is really nice to have on that. And it is going to do 2 fill passes, remember. Camera's nice, not bad, right? For something that was made in like 2012. It is challenging to try and autofocus over and over again, though. Brett, what have you been working on here lately, man? You guys don't know Brett. Brett's another guy who does a lot of Monport streams and actually a lot of cool laser stuff. Hence the name Brett's Laser Garage. I've also wondered if you could slowly ablate material like this to create a cutout for like a bow tie, for like a wood joint. I mean, I know it's obviously a pretty time-consuming thing and there's better tools for it, but you know, sometimes people don't have all the tools to do every job. Wondering if you could cut out, like, ablate the inset for a bow tie and then cut your bow tie out. Say out of another material or another type of wood or something like that, and inset it then. Be pretty cool. Yeah, with that external exhaust fan that I've got, you just have like a very faint smell of burning wood, which is not bad. You've been doing a lot of glass lately on your UV lasers. Ooh. Dude, that's cool. Any exciting things coming up with Monport, though, huh? Anything you can share, or are you you're under an NDA about it? You do in-laser epoxy pours? Oh, yeah, you could totally do an epoxy pour clack. That's right. Well, she went out of focus. She focused on the lid for some reason. It's one of the troubles with trying to film with something with autofocus through a semi-transparent piece of material, huh? Alright, so this is going to crisp up all of those cuts that it just did. It's something small. It doesn't take a lot of time, but it adds a little bit of adds a level of finish that I highly recommend. Laser etch, epoxy fill, drum sand, profit. Yeah, you know, I mean, you gotta find the buyer first, of course. Boom. Oh, we did it in one pass. If it goes through on that one, on the first one, I'll just hit stop. Boom. We can stop right there. Awesome. You can't say exactly yet, but it's going to be big, as in large. Exciting. All right. Let me get these out of here for you guys. And kick it back over to this other camera. I really like my tip of running a scoring pass around the perimeter. Yeah, dude, it really just makes it pop. It really does. And it's something that's so simple, right? Just so easy. So those turned out really awesome. Those turned out great. You could even go in and if you were the painting type, you know, you could have gone in and painted that ahead of time, and then everything that's not touched by the laser would not be the color. You could do the inverse. You could paint the whole thing and then run it under one quick pass and take all that paint off everywhere except for the inlay. Be pretty easy, or just sand it a little bit. Pretty simple stuff. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty easy. Let's jump back over here to Lightburn, and we're going to switch over to the leather portion of this. Right? So you'll be able to see here, boom, drop some leather in here. Let me go ahead and get it dialed in as far as the focus goes. Done. So we obviously need to drop our pink parts down a bit and spread them out. Let's drop here. Spread them out. Let's check what that's going to look like when we frame. Bad. Oh, wait. No, not bad. Need to turn off those other two layers and turn on our laser leather. That's what I needed to do. Now let's frame. This is why we frame, guys. This is why we frame. Yep, I need to drop them down a little bit more. Cool. Sweet. All right. Let's frame that again one more time, just for sanity. All right. You can see I've got a ruler on there, and that ruler is so I can. It just kind of helps keep it flat, because leather tends to kind of want to flop a little bit, especially if you got your air assist on. Let's go over the leather cut settings real quick. This is not thick leather. This is again maybe 3mm thick leather. My cut settings on this are 20mm a second at 30% power, 2 passes. 20mm a second, 30% power, 2 passes. Yeah. Let's go ahead and fire that up. Good old stinky leather. Biggest drawback to cutting leather with a laser? Gonna char those edges, no matter what. I have found that the smell of it on the finished product goes away after a day or two. It's not a huge deal. Looky there, looky there. Let's go check it out. The smell is delightful. So whenever you're removing the masking tape, again, I had these masked up as well. You want to peel, you know, almost level with your leather surface, with the plane of the surface. You don't want to pull straight off. Let me show you what I mean by that. Pull back this way. I got a little bit of blowout inside of that one. Maybe my masking tape wasn't down all the way. But you want to do that because you can mess up the surface of your leather if you're not careful doing that. So kind of the next part of this project, of what this actually is, let me show you. Because it's a keychain. So what I do, I have these little grommets, leatherworking steel grommets that go through the hole. And then you just use some glue. These are not that big of keychains, okay? You just use some glue, and you can glue that wood straight to it. Some contact cement, something like that. I'll probably go ahead and do that real quick. And then we'll move on to the next project while the glue dries. So what I like to do is I like to take something sharp and score up the surface of the leather while I or before I glue. That just helps the glue penetrate a little bit better. Yeah, dyeing it, actually cleaning it and dyeing it should help with that blowout for sure. So there you go. I mean, that's essentially a finished product right there, other than setting that rivet on the backside, which can be done with like an arbor press, or if you've got a smooth hand in the rivet setter, a little mallet, you can absolutely make that happen. Dyeing the leather would totally work. Cleaning it would work. There's a number of different things you could do to kind of hide that. But also, this is veg tan leather. It's going to patina really, really nicely over time. And so I think in the long run, it'll kind of be a moot point to be overly concerned about the blowout. But if you're really, kind of concerned about it, you can absolutely clean that off. So yeah, that's just a really simple product. The glue that I use is just a water-based adhesive. I think that one came from Michaels, but if you're really going to get into doing a lot of these, you'll probably want something a little bit stouter, like a contact cement, like Barge makes a really good contact cement. Reno Aquilum 315 is another really good one as well. That's what I use on a lot of my other leatherworking stuff. So that's a pretty simple product right there. And, even with all the explaining that I did and showing you guys how to do it, that was, you could batch those out real quick once you get everything dialed in. Now that's pretty simple. Let's see here. Trying to think of what our last one's going to be. What is it called? There it is. It's called a drop bag. So what this is, something we had seen and recreated and customized a little bit. And I think I'm just going to have to do it and show it to you because it's pretty cool. And I'll be completely honest, I've only done it one other time on a much smaller scale on my fiber laser. So this is going to be a little bit of a trial and error. It may not work exactly right. But we're gonna set it up and see if we can't make it work here. Let's get this zoom back out here. As a reminder, if you guys need a marking spray, there's a code for the marking spray. Please go grab it. They're giving them away for free. All right, so I just loaded this guy up. Just loaded this up with some leather, and I want to see. Looks like I am within my bounds. So I'm just gonna fire this guy up, and then we're gonna see if she worked. Let me hit that frame one more time just to be safe. She looks good. Let's go. So my settings on this, while that's cutting, let me show you the settings on this guy. These cut settings are 13% speed, or 13 millimeters per second speed at 45% power, 1 pass. This is a different leather than what I was just using. Whoop. Let me back that out. This one's going to take a little bit, so if you guys got any questions, you guys shout them out. So we've called this thing a drop bag, and you'll see why here in just a minute. I'm hoping that it'll cut through the very first time. This leather has a coating on it, which is a little bit plasticky. It's the color coating on it. It's a kind of a mustardy yellow, and so that can make it a little bit more difficult to run through. It's not a veg tan leather, it's chrome tanned. So ventilation is very important. Let me get a closer look at this guy. Brett, have you done much leather work on your laser? I've found that it is probably the most challenging thing to cut through consistently because of all of the differences in the different leathers, how they're tanned, the thicknesses, the colors. I mean, there's a lot of different variables that go into it. You like that? Oh, you like that angle? Okay, cool. We'll go back to it. I was just trying to mix it up for you guys. Here. Get my ugly mug out of the way. One of the coolest things I do like about this laser is you can see the laser tube firing in the back behind it all. Yeah, oh, you're not wrong, Ventari. Dude, it's nuts. And this leather, I can absolutely smell more than the other one that we were cutting. And I'm sure it's because it's chrome tan. I know that that's probably a bad thing I shouldn't be doing. Shouldn't be in here huffing leather fumes. Yeah, the drawback is this will make my shop smell like burnt leather for a day and a half. I wish I could find a way to like exhaust it further away from my shop, or maybe suck air into the shop from a different area. I might end up getting one of the leather or the air purifiers from Monport as well. Yeah, you're not wrong. That's where the skill of an actual leather worker, which I am not. I've dabbled, but I am not I would not consider myself a leather worker whatsoever. But the skill of a true leather worker really, really, really does shine. But I will say, man, this little Reno, she's peppy. She's peppy. and accurate. I'm very impressed with this. And when doing leather, I would definitely recommend this masking tape. It prevents a lot of that blowout burn that you'll see. I mean, if I was to make these cuts by hand, it would take me 30 minutes just to draw it onto the leather. And another hour to cut it out. Of course, now that as I'm sitting here watching it, I'm always doubting myself of, should I have made it 2 passes? Should I have made it more than 45% power? Should I have slowed it down a little bit? Should I have sped it up? Multiple passes? I don't know. I'm going to get another closer look. Yeah, so what I'll do is whenever this finishes, I'll check to see if it actually cut all the way through. I'm going to try and do that without moving the leather. So I'm going to set something heavy on it. I'm going to go in, I'm going to pick it up and see if it actually cut through. If it didn't, I'm going to run it again, but I'm not going to make you guys sit through that. That's going to be it's going to be a me project. Poke a sliver with the needle. Yeah. Then if any of you guys have any other projects or ideas or, I don't know, anything you guys want to ever see done, I mean, you guys feel free to shout it out. I'm willing to waste all kinds of material and trying to figure something out. I do that all the time. Looks like this is cutting the outer perimeter now. Final cut. Rounding quarter number 3, headed towards the finish line. Who's gonna take the checkered flag? Seemed like it was designed by somebody brilliant. Wasn't me. All right, so she didn't cut all the way through. Womp womp. So need some more adjustments. It's all right. It's part of the game, guys. Womp womp. Yeah, it's all right. So anyway, I'll go ahead and kill it off there. Man, I really want to say thanks for everybody who did come to hang out. Champions adjust, that's right. It's okay. Do it again. Again, I just want to say thanks to everybody for showing up. If you have not yet gotten your free laser marking spray, please get it. Use code MP Spray. You want to post that link one more time, Monport? Get these people some spray. And if anybody did purchase or is considering purchasing a laser, if you wanted to purchase one tonight, we did have another promotion going on where it's a free rotary and a free light burn license if you purchase tonight during the stream. All you got to do is send me proof that you ordered. And so really want to say thanks for coming out, everybody. And if anybody's got any questions, dude, we're open. Just let me know. More than happy to answer any questions I can or help troubleshoot anything. Other than that, you guys have a good evening. Have a great weekend. Be safe. And go laser some stuff. Have a good night.